Welcome back, GEP Talk episode 9. It's your host, John Gebner. I know it's been a minute, but I'm back recording another NBA basketball podcast. It's that time of the year. It's playoff time. I know I haven't posted in a couple months, but let me just give you a recap about what's been going on. So the NBA changed its rules this year for the playoffs. So if you're in the top 10, you have a chance to go to the playoffs. So in each conference, the 9 seed and the 10 seed will play a game. Whoever wins that game goes on to play the loser of the 7 and 8. So if you win the 7 and 8 game, you become the 7 seed, and then the loser plays the winner of 9 and 10. So in the 9 and 10 game, it's a one game, you lose. If you lose that game, then you're out. So in the Western Conference, we had the number 9 seed, one of my favorite players, John Moran, the Memphis Grizzlies. They faced off against the San Antonio Spurs. And 7 and 8, we had the one and only LeBron James and the Lakers versus the Golden State Warriors and maybe MVP Steph Curry, who knows. The Grizzlies held out the Spurs to win, and then the Lakers played the Golden State Warriors, and this was a great game in the Western Conference. Golden State was up big at halftime, and then at second half, LeBron came alive. Anthony Davis struggled a lot. Draymond Green played a great game on Anthony Davis, and he really made him take a lot of bad shots. But the Lakers ended up pulling that out, so the Lakers get the 7th seed, and they will be end up facing the Phoenix Suns, who we'll later talk about later down the line. And then Memphis played Golden State Warriors, and this was a great game. It went into overtime. John Morant, 35 points, sealed the deal with the game-winning bucket, and the Memphis Grizzlies made it. Now they're the 8th seed, and that was a big upset. A lot of people thought Steph Curry and the Warriors were gonna win. I'm not a big Steph Curry guy, so I like Ja, so I was happy to see it. Then over in the Eastern Conference, LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets faced off against the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers were the 9th seed, and the Hornets were the 10th seed. And the Pacers absolutely humiliated the Hornets on all levels of the game, all 4 quarters. It wasn't even an exciting game. I barely even watched it because it was a blowout. And then the Boston played Washington. Jason Tatum, once again, another 50-point game. It's his 3rd or 4th of the season. He's just been balling. But the Celtics are going to be without Jaylen Brown for the rest of this season in the playoffs. So that's going to be tough. If Jaylen Brown was there, maybe the Celtics can have a little surprise run and give the Nets a run for their money. But we'll talk about that. So then Indiana and Washington faced off, and then Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal ended up pulling that one out. So they took the 8th seed, and they'll be going against the Philadelphia 76ers. So now all the seeds are in, and we're going to be locked in. So now I'm going to give you my first-round predictions. And I'm going to be covering – I'm back home now from school. I'm comfortable, and I'm going to be posting a bunch of videos. After the first round is over, I'm going to give you guys a recap and what to look in the second round. But for the first round, I'm going to start in the Western Conference. So I'm going to go with the number 1 Utah Jazz versus the Memphis Grizzlies. So the Jazz had a great season, 52-20. You can't complain. Mike Conley's been having a pretty good season, a bounce-back season since the trade. And I'm pretty sure I like Utah in this series. I think the Grizzlies could sneak out one game, and but a lot of these games are going to be close. So, but I'm going to go with Utah taking 5 or 6. Most likely 5. I would like to see this game go to 6. But, yeah, Utah in 5 or 6. And then LA Clippers versus the Dallas Mavericks. So I'm recording this on Sunday, May 23rd. So there's already been a couple games that's been played. So the Clippers played the Mavericks last night. And once again, Paul George, who they call Pandemic P, he had another rough night. And Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks pulled this one out. And this is going to be a tough series. They played each other last year. But this is going to be a battle. And I'm going to go Clippers in 7. That's what I'm going to go with. They need to get it together because Luka and the Mavericks are really playing good. But I'm going to go with Clippers in 7. And then another game last night, we got the Denver Nuggets versus the Portland Trail Blazers. The Nuggets haven't really been the same team since Jamal Murray. Damian Lillard, they won last night. And honestly, I like Portland in the series a lot. So I'm going to go with the upset. I got Blazers in 6 games. That's what I'm going to go with. And then the last matchup in the West, we got Phoenix versus the LA Lakers, 2 seed versus the 7 seed. And this is a very interesting one. I got to give credit to the Phoenix Suns. I had them in the playoffs. I didn't have them this good of a record, but it's that Chris Paul effect. And then you got a young team, Devin Booker, who played great in the bubble last season. But it's playoff time, and I don't think LeBron James is going to go out in the first round. I don't see it. I don't believe it. But this is definitely going to be a test for him. So I got Lakers in 6 games. I'm going to go with the Lakers in 6 games. It might be a 7. Be a lookout because this series is going to be great. All the games are going to be close. I can't wait to watch all of it. And then we got the Philadelphia versus Washington. We got the Joel Embiid, Russell Westbrook. They don't really like each other. It's going to be a rivalry. But honestly, I think Philly's going to take care of them in 5 games. It might be a sweep. And then we got the New York Knicks versus the Atlanta Hawks. And I got to give a shout out to the New York Knicks. Derrick Rose, Tom Thibodeau. Basically, the Chicago Bulls. You got Taj Gibson there, too. But since the Knicks have acquired Derrick Rose, their record has been insane. And a lot of people thought the Knicks were going to take a step this season, but not this far. A 4 seed. And they're playing the Atlanta Hawks, who are a good team. Another team that surprised people as well. But I think I really like the Knicks in this series. A lot of people are talking about the Hawks, but I like the Knicks. I'm going with the Knicks in 6 games here. For sure. The Knicks been playing great. They played everybody close. They went down to the Western Conference and they won a bunch of games, and they played everybody tough. So I'm going with the Knicks here. And then last night, Milwaukee and the Heat faced off a great game. Chris Middleton hit a game-winning shot. And this series, I've been going back and forth. This is a tough series because the Heat beat the Bucks last year, but what's been troubling me is this Heat team's been throwing me off this whole NBA season because they're such a great team, but since they went to the finals last season, it hasn't been a smooth season. They have had a bunch of injuries. And if Giannis doesn't pull this one out, then he might as well leave Milwaukee. Like if he doesn't beat the Heat this year. But I think this is gonna be a 7-game series. I'm gonna go with the Bucks in 7. I really think it's a good series. And then we got Brooklyn versus Boston. And then now you got James Harden back. He's ready for the playoffs. But Boston's not going to go out quietly. If Jaylen Brown was there, maybe a 5-6 games. But I think Boston sneaks out 1 game. So I'm going to take the Brooklyn Nets in 1 game. No, Brooklyn Nets in 5 games. So the way I have it, it will be Utah versus the Clippers. And that's an interesting series because you really never know how the Clippers are going to show up and what type of Paul George is going to show up, what type of Kawhi. They got Rondo there, but you never know with the Clippers, so this is going to be interesting. But honestly, I never thought I would say this, but I like the Jazz in this series. And I'm going to go with the Jazz. And I think it's going to be 6 games. Just because, I don't know. It's I'm a big fan of Paul George, but everywhere he goes, he just brings the team down. They just don't perform when it comes to the playoffs. And Kawhi usually always plays good in the playoffs. So, this is just insane to me. But I'm going to go with the Jazz. It could be the Clippers, though. Just telling you guys that. And then we got the Portland Trailblazers. And then they're gonna play the Lakers, a rematch of the 1 and 8 seed last year. I remember Stephen A. Smith said, I got the Blazers, no shot. That runs to end. I'm gonna go. But the Blazers are gonna keep it close though. I'm gonna go Lakers in 6 and with that one as well. And then we gonna move to the conference finals, Lakers versus Jazz. And I got the Lakers. They're going to the championship again, no doubt. Believe that. LeBron and Anthony Davis, they're going to go. So, move on to the Eastern Conference. We got Philadelphia versus the Knicks. And this is where the Knicks meet their match a little bit. This is where, like, they're a little outmatched and a little more outmuscled, to be honest. But Julius Randle's going to have a big night, but every game. But I like Philadelphia in 6 games here as well. And then move down, we got the Milwaukee versus the Brooklyn Nets. And Milwaukee has played the Brooklyn Nets tough all season. But honestly, I think Brooklyn's going to get the Milwaukee Bucks gone in 5 games. So then, as you see it, we got Brooklyn versus Philadelphia. This is the matchup everybody's been talking about, the 1 and 2. And I think it's going to go to 6 games. But I think Brooklyn's going to take care of this. And then they're going to go off against the Los Angeles Lakers in the finals. And this is going to be honestly, I see the Lakers going down early, 2-0 in the series. And LeBron coming back and winning it. So I got Lakers in 7 all day. That's GEP Talk's prediction. It's your host, John Gebner. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sorry I've been slacking on the videos. But I'm going to post another video after the first round is over. A quick summary of that. And in the comments, let me know you guys' prediction. Who do you guys got in the finals? Who do you guys got taking home finals MVP and a possible upset? So this is GEP Talk. I'm signing out. Peace, y'all.